Hi, it's Delia. Thanks for clicking on. So today is day, I don't know, we'll call it day 10 of the cavernous virus, as I'm calling it. And this is a strange time, and we've kind of gotten our feet a little bit. We've gotten adjusted to the fact that things change every day. And one of the reasons I wanted to come on here is because in the groups that I've been doing recently, we've really been aware of the energy, especially of how the whole thing is being framed by different people. And so it's not about making anybody right or wrong. It's just about noticing how you're listening, whoever you're listening to about this, how is their definition of it sitting with you. And so I heard the governor of Louisiana or the mayor of New Orleans, I get those kind of people confused, saying the other day that they're not calling it shelter in place because that's a very specific designation. And I'm from hurricane country, so I know what she was talking about. Shelter in place is when it's dangerous to move. So tsunamis, earthquakes, hurricanes, that kind of thing. And I didn't like the way shelter in place was feeling. I am blessed with being in a really great spot. So to call this sheltering in place it's like it invokes a lot of desperateness and a lot of powerlessness. Like refugees, refugees have to shelter in place because they have no resources. They have no government checking out for them, looking out for them. It's a despicable situation that we have so many refugees on the planet right now, which kind of fits into another part of this. So my body really did not like shelter in place. Plus it also has that impending doom. And after, a few days or a week, everybody has their own time limit of how long you can hang out in impending doom energy before you go, well, this doesn't work. Either something has to happen or I'm going to stand down or, whatever. So it was a real natural migration from shelter in place into artist in residence. So some of the people in my groups were like, yeah, but I don't paint and I don't do this, I don't do that. It's surprising to me how many people have explanations and excuses about how they are not artists. And yet that is our fundamental nature. What do you call it? Imagination or creativity or liveliness. There's all kinds of names, but the energy underneath all the different names is creative. And so we are all artists, and we are all constantly creating our life and our bank account and our relationships and our businesses and our schooling and our, just there's no aspect of our life that we are not creating all the time. And so that's pretty artistic. So everywhere that you have a limitation to, they're an artist but you're not an artist, or you're an artist but they're not an artist, all the bugaboos and separations that everybody has around artist and artistry and creativity, let's just destroy and uncreate all that energetically. Just let it go, let it go, let it go. Yeah. And just allow yourself the freedom to be the artist that you truly be. I've known artists who were philosophers. I've known artists with math. I've known artists who were scientists. I've known artists who were painters. I've known artists who are poets. I mean, I've known artists that can look at an empty space and picture it filled with a structure. They're, like architects or contractors and that kind of thing, but there's such a gargantuan amount of artistry involved in that. So anything that limits what is an artist and what can an artist do and what is creativity and what can you do with creativity, anything that limits or diminishes or bastardizes that or tarnishes that or anything else like that, let's destroy and uncreate all that times a godzillion. Yeah. Just move all that projections, conclusions, decisions, and caca off of it, right? Yeah. Yeah, so as long as you have a pulse, as long as you're breathing, you can be an artist in residence. And it's a completely valid term. So if you're staying home because it is in service of your health or your kids' health or the school's health or the community's health, if you're staying home, you can own that. You don't have to be staying home because somebody told you to. I mean, you can, but I mostly people find that really annoying. So you can own your choice to stay home, to be taking care of yourself and the environment, however you want to phrase it. Think about what you're doing and why you're doing it. If the what was that thing, when we were kids, Mom saying, would you jump off the bridge if your friends did? And we would go, no, because that would be stupid, right? Well, right now there's this rumor that we're going to be told that we don't need to be sheltering in place or staying home anymore. And, just because somebody who's allergic to facts tells us that we can do something doesn't mean we have to do it. And the reason that I think that there's a tremendous amount of community going on in large places and small places because people are staying home. They're staying in. They're washing their hands. They're being good community members, better community members than lots of the governments are. And so you want to own that. You want to validate that your self-care is a wonderful thing, and caring for you and caring for your sweet body is a fabulous thing. And you want to do that, right? So if you really don't like artists in residence, you can. The other thing that my group was talking about was sovereign in residence, right? So when the Queen of England is at the castle, she's in residence. So you can be sovereign in residence. And that's the point of all of the energy work that we do, is so that you can be sovereign in your own space and your own body, mind, personality, to be clearing out other people's information so that you can have your information. Imagine this. Every sensation, memory, thought, feeling, everything that happens in your conscious self, right? Either it's somebody else's, and there's a lot of that going on, which is another topic. But if you clear all of that other else stuff out, everything that happens in your consciousness and in your body and in your awareness has direct information direct for you. So maybe you're aware of having an extra 2,000 or 3,000 televisions and radios on in your head at all times. And imagine being able to live with all of that cacophony shut off. And so everything that actually does come into your awareness, you can identify, this is not mine, so we're going to return to sender with consciousness. But this is for me. This does have information that I need to make this choice right now. Wouldn't that be fabulous if everything that happened inside of you was a message for you and you didn't have to sort through the garbage all the time? Yeah. So that's the whole point with learning the clearings and learning the processes and doing the energy work, is to turn off those 1,000 or 2,000 extra televisions and radios so that everything that happens in here has a message directly for you, and you have the communication access to know what you're trying to communicate with you. Yeah. So there's a lot of energy on that. Anything that doesn't allow that, yeah, let's destroy and uncreate all that. Yeah. So do not shelter in place. Instead, consider being an artist in residence in your own space. And what can you create today? And what can you create this afternoon or this evening? What can you create with this next hour? This is a great time to take up something new. You know, learn how to speak Italian. Learn how to cook, French cooking. They just started, I think on Facebook. I'm sure if you Google it, you can find the original Julia Childs. She did all of those cooking shows on PBS. And they're available. So if you don't want to get the book and go through the book like the movie, then you can start watching her cooking shows and learn how to cook, right? So there's just whatever your curiosity, your interest is, whatever you've ever wanted time to do, what if you use this time to do that? I know that there's kind of a push right now for pretending this isn't happening, and for stay-at-home moms who are at home right now. Maybe they're working part-time or they're telecommuting, and they're also expected to homeschool. Trying to pretend like your kid is in school during a pandemic is insane. I'm just saying. So do what works for you and for your family. What's light and bright is the thing that is actually going to work for you. And what is dark and heavy is not for you to be doing. So take that for what it's worth, and just start to notice that this is a very unusual time. And it's an opportunity. This is, I hate that phrase because it's been co-opted. So this is a very unusual time. And it is exactly as if nature and the universe are doing for us what we couldn't do for ourselves. There's so much about the modern life that we have, especially in the past, 20 years, that is not fit for humans. It's not fit for life. And it's broken right now, right? So let this time work on you, and let it open you up, and let help you discover, where have your expectations been matching the culture, and having a 24/7 productivity mandate for you, right? The problems that they're having in DC about the funding, it's the conflict of, does the economy come first or do people come first? And many people, I'm sorry to say, really don't know the answer, which is a sign of what it's like, the fever that needed to break. It's a crazy thinking, and it just needs to stop happening. And if we couldn't do it for ourselves, then we're having this mandate to take a moment, take a breather, reconsider, and reevaluate, and just kind of renew what is true for you, what is valuable for you. And you can do that from being your artist in resident self or your sovereign in resident self. Find a tree somewhere, go for walks, and go talk to the tree. You don't have to talk to the tree like a conversation like with the with the neighbor, but maybe just go find a tree that looks interesting to you, and lean your back up against the tree and just allow whatever the tree is contributing to you and to your sweet body, and just allow your body to receive it. And just, see what happens when you do that 3 days in a row, or 7 days in a row, or 15 days in a row. And just create this time, imagine this time differently. What is this time a gift for? If this time were a gift for you, what would you do with it? What would you do different today that you wouldn't even imagine doing 2 weeks ago? And what would you like to do today? What would be interesting, fun, stimulating, engaging to do today? And then do that. So yeah, start to be that sovereign within your own self. And enjoy the artistry of creating your life. Yeah, good. All right, well, take care, and I will see you next time.